Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 333. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
I gotta say, I just finished, literally an hour before the show, I finished the last episode of Cobra Kai Season 5.
Wow, okay.
And
right.
I gotta say it was pretty cheesy overall.
What?
It was just kind of really? Come on.
Yeah, really. I thought it was awesome. I love Season 5.
I mean, it's popcorny and kind of fun and enjoyable, but just...
So we're not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of it.
The spoilers, right?
You saw at the end how this could be the end of the road, right?
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
Room open for... Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I think they have to do a Season 6, because why would you even have that scene at the end? It's too much of a cliffhanger. So now there's going to be one more scene to tie up that loose end, and then it's going to be maybe that's it.
Well, okay, put it this way. If they have a season where they bring Bow Wow in, then I'm out. Okay, I'm out.
When they bring who in?
Bow Wow. No, not Bow Wow. It wasn't Bow Wow. It was
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith. There we go.
I don't know why that would be the line, because I mean they already ran out of ideas.
That's the line. If they bring Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith in, then that's the line. That's the line for me.
But you're okay with Hilary Swank?
I'm okay with Hilary Swank because she's still in that universe. She had Mr. Miyagi. I'm okay with that. She could talk to Daniel's son about Mr. Miyagi, and they can get they can understand each other. So if they bring Jaden Smith in, nobody knew Mr. Miyagi. Okay.
I gotta say, Johnny Lawrence in the last episode had me cringing. His dialogue was trash. I'm sorry. And I thought the conceit was cool, the season 1, season 2, how they the man was just kind of disheveled and down on his luck, and he tries to get his life back together. Was all right, I'm in for the story. It was crazy. And how LaRusso was top of his game, but he kind of turned into an asshole. That was amazing. And I was all right, make it a short little thing on YouTube. That's cool. I'm in for the 2 seasons. And then they're nah, we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this train going.
I love it. We got flashbacks to the Karate Kid 2 and 3.
Terry Silver.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is awesome. I love season 5. I thought season 5 was awesome.
Better than season 4.
I disagree. Yes. There we go.
Better than
At least
season 4.
We can agree on that.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, I just didn't want to say I tied that up. So that's just one thing off my list of stuff to watch. Whew.
Well, you know what's on my list? I want to watch Hellraiser.
Oh yeah.
It's on Hulu, right? I think it's on Hulu, so I can watch it. And I definitely want to watch Sense Now, because the only way to watch my Days of Our Lives, I do watch soap operas, is to watch it on Peacock. I can't watch Halloween Ends.
Oh yeah, you gotta close out the trilogy. Yeah.
I gotta close out. I gotta close that out. Well, trilogy-ish, right? Because it's really the 4th installment because remember they rebooted after the first one.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's all sorts of because she came back in H2O with Busta Rhymes and all that as a cameo, right?
Did she? I don't remember that.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I saw that in the theaters too, because the girl I was dating at the time was let's go see this horror movie, and I'm no. But I still went because she wanted to go, so I'm all right, we'll see it, and it was trash. Part 3 didn't even have Michael Myers in it, so I don't even know why they were calling it Halloween 3. They're like, let's make this evil candy company mogul be the villain. Terrible idea. In 4, he becomes like supernatural. Like they like totally flipped the script on him. So, and then like all the other ones in between H2O and like the reboot. And then there was the 2.
All right, you can ignore all of them. You keep going. You can ignore.
Wait. There was also there was also the other reboot from Rob Zombie. So there was Halloween 1 and 2 that he did that they were mixed. Shit's all over the place.
The first one was okay. I like the first one. The second one.
The second one wasn't great. Yeah, the second one was.
The second one wasn't great. I like the first one.
I like Rob Zombie. He's a big horror nut. But sometimes he misses in his directorial.
Well, like I said, you can ignore all of them because these are direct sequels to the first one. Halloween Returns, whatever it's called, the first of the trilogy was great. I thought it was great.
It was very good. Yeah.
The second one was okay, and I hear the third one is garbage. So I can't wait to see it.
Oh, yeah, well, usually the first one is the strongest, so.
IGN gave it a 4.
Out of 10?
Out of 10,
yeah. Got to make sure what the scale is, because it could be out of 100.
So it was a 4 out of 10.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all right, Dave, let's get the show on the road. We have an awesome show this week. Coming up, we're going to talk about all the rumors about Sony wanting to flood the market with PS5 consoles next year. Is it possible you can find a PS5 actually on store shelves? We'll see. And Phil Spencer did Phil Spencer secretly reveal a new Xbox console? Well, we'll talk about all of that, but let's begin the show with Cyberpunk 2077. We know Stadia is going to go bye-bye and shut down at some point in January. I forgot the exact date in January. And everybody is scrambling because I didn't know there were so many Stadia players that they had to worry about save data. Right? I thought Stadia.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Microsoft is refunding $10 million worth of like subscriptions and hardwares, right? Like they're
Google, you mean?
Oh, Google.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, Microsoft buys everybody, so I just thought
Yeah, they just they're like Thanos getting a new gem every year.
Yeah. No, Google is refunding. It's so bad that Google is refunding everybody, and I think they said it should be worth up to $10 million. So
sure, and they certainly have that money. It's not something that they're beholden to do. I mean, I mentioned this before, but I think it's a good look on their part. Look, we messed up. We're getting out of this game. Here's how to get your money back on it. And for Cyberpunk, I don't know if the cloud saves or the whatever, if you can get them from all the games. But I think Cyberpunk is notable because remember that was the best way to play that game.
It was at the time,
and I think it's still. I mean, it may still be the best way to play that game. They just had fine-tuned hardware that was it was all patched up. Didn't have to worry about any of that. It was all tuned appropriately for your connection. So
yeah, but it's up to the developer. They said.
Okay.
And CD Projekt Red, right? They've explained how they're going to sort of. You could take your save and use it in PC and console, which I was surprised to hear about that.
Right.
They explained that they have a program called Google Takeout, right? It's used to move game data from cloud into your PC.
That seems a little misleading. I would think that's a food ordering service, but okay.
Google Takeout, the next business venture by Google to compete with Uber Eats.
Yeah, which will get shut down in a year because they'll just get bored of it.
Yeah, and then they'll refund you all the money they took from you as you didn't get your orders in.
Oh my god! Yeah,
because they didn't have enough delivery drivers.
Yeah, right.
The program allows users to download archived versions of data to be extracted to separate folders. This method can also be used for your Xbox and your PlayStation via cross progression through the player GOG accounts. So You do have to jump through some hoops to
Sure.
transfer your save data. It's not as easy as just plug in a thumb drive and copy and paste or move over, right?
Sure.
So I wish it was that easy, but no, it's not going to be that easy.
I don't even know if the new consoles even have that functionality anymore, because the Xbox One and the PS4, PS5, and Series X and S, I don't even think they because there's no official memory cards, because it's just you have storage, and you have cloud saves. I don't even know if you could do that from a memory card.
Well, I mean, a USB drive, I think you can. I don't know about the current consoles, but I think you can on the PS4.
Well, I mean, you can save to you can move your game to an external hard drive, but that moves the whole game and all the game saves and everything with it. I don't know. Maybe it would be something worth looking into, because that would be a lot easier, right? You don't have to log into multiple accounts. You don't have to, authorize and whatever else. You just take it, put it on a drive, pop it in, and move it over. Huh.
Well, I'm sure other developers are going to follow suit, right? With this. To, transfer save data. I know Ubisoft said they were working on something.
I was going to say they would be the other company I would think that people would have stuff that they would want, right? As a user. And maybe Doom too. Maybe the stuff from Bethesda, Wolfenstein, Doom, that stuff. You may want to carry that over.
Yeah. Well, that's the all digital future, right? We thought it. Yep. Hopefully this delays it. Yes, I hope so. Come on, delay the digital future, because I am still into box games. Because I'm a collector. We are still into box games, and apparently a lot of people in Japan are as well. Because Splatoon 3 made up almost 70% of all box game sales in September in Japan.
Wow! All right.
2.7 million box copies.
Wow.
Sold in Japan last month, which makes up 70% of all physical games sold in Japan.
That's crazy.
Physical's not dead, baby. It's still here.
This is probably one of the most heartwarming stories I think I've ever heard, because Japan, for a while, was on the. I mean, they still are on the forefront of technology, but the rest of the world is kind of caught up, and we've got some cool innovations and good. But I mean, they've always been.
Well, they've been waving their credit cards at machines since the mid 2000s, and we're just now getting it in
they had those kiosks where you could download Nintendo games to the discs.
Oh yeah,
right? Way back in the 80s, they were digital. It's great. Here comes the future. So, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. Well, you know what also is awesome?
Mm-hmm.
More physical game releases. We talked about it. About 2 episodes ago about Cuphead getting a physical release. They finally announced that we were getting a physical release on its anniversary. Yep. And it looks like that anniversary is in December, because December 6th, we'll get the Switch version, PS4, and Xbox One physical Cuphead versions for $39.99. Now, I do have to correct something from that episode that we said. I think we said this will be the first time you'll be able to play Cuphead on PlayStation. That would be incorrect, because Cuphead did come to the PS4 July 28th, 2020.
Oh shoot, I totally forgot about that. Nice.
So it came to Switch in 2019, and then it came to PS4 a year later.
Right.
So Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
So, I'm gonna go deep on you right now, Dan. Sorry.
Okay. Whoa. Poor choice. This is a very poor choice of words. No. Go. You could go deep on something else.
I'm gonna. Oh God.
Yeah. No. Go.
I'm gonna get
Please rephrase.
I'm going to get real obscure on you, because this is a reference to a thing that I didn't even remember. I had to look it up and watch the clip, and it was a throwaway 2-second joke from a Simpsons episode. So I want to say it was the height of the Simpsons too, right? Mid to late 90s. And there was a joke where Milhouse was in the Noiseland arcade, and he walks up and he tries to play the Waterworld arcade game.
Yes, I remember.
And it costs 40 credits. So he's got to sit there and put in 40 coins. And you hear him counting like 38, 39, 40. And the whole entire joke, well, the joke is that. And then the joke is that, because Waterworld is such a bad movie, the video game property has to be equally as bad, if not worse. So he like walks forward with Kevin Costner, and then it just says game over on the screen. And he's like, what the hell? And then he starts counting coins to put in more coins to play the game again. And that was the extent of it. And, you know, it had the little screen, and they, like, tried to do some pixelated Simpsons-style graphics. Somebody made a full-fledged version based off of that joke and the art style and the whatever, turned it into a full-fledged game you can download on the PC and play Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
Okay.
And it is just as terrible as you think it should be and would be. But it's amazing. It's amazing. You just, like, there's these different screens where you have to, like, solve these action-y puzzles. So, like, maybe there's a dude with a knife, and, he stabs every couple of seconds. So you got to, like, move in when he's not stabbing and punch him, and then move back. Sometimes there'll be a guy shooting, and then you'll have to, like, duck underneath his, like, crossbow or whatever it is. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's an inventory system. You pick up some items or whatever to solve like certain puzzles, but it is bananas ridiculous. I watched the YouTube video on it. Said I have to download this. I have to play this. And when you load the game up, it's from the perspective of Milhouse. And the first time you play, you have to put in 40 quarters individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, okay, that's kind of funny and annoying at the same time.
Oh, yeah, no. It's not a game you play more than like once or twice. Okay. To be fair, the second time around, you get to put in $1.25 at a time. He's just got like handfuls of coins, like throwing it in there. So
got it.
But still, it's freaking ridiculous. So I thought that was great. And I've been playing a bit. Now, this is a game I'm going to announce now. We've been kind of teasing it in the last couple of episodes and whatnot. If you ever watch the video clips, I am playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That is going to be for the upcoming Saturday Morning Retro show. And spoilers, let's just say I'm having a good time with it. And I'll leave it at that. And finally, because you said it came out yesterday, so I had to download it too, I started playing Scorn for the Xbox Series X.
Oh, God. Yep.
Oh,
God.
You know what?
Right.
This is the first time that me and you are simpatico, Dan. I think it's one of the first times. I also don't like the game.
All right. So I'm going to say I've been playing Scorn.
Mm-hmm.
I not only don't like the atmosphere because I'm not into spooky games, but I said, it's October. I'm going to give it a try. Sure. I just don't like the game. Like, it's really puzzle heavy, and
yes,
it's annoying puzzle heavy, to be honest.
It is, because you don't know, you don't have any context for anything. You don't know why. Like, I didn't know why I was doing any of this stuff. If I come across a door I can't get through, it's like, all right, I got to figure out how to get through that door. But that entry to that door doesn't come around again to, like, half an hour later after you've done some other weird esoteric stuff. And I'm like, what am I even doing?
If you know what you're doing, the game is short. The game is only like 5 hours, I heard. So
5 chapters. I think you're right. It's about 5 hours or so. If you know.
I think they tried to pad the game with these crazy puzzles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have went more for the first-person shooter, the gory first-person shooter.
I think there's only like one stage where you have actual combat, and they said it's terrible. So even that is not good. Literally everybody said the combat is slow, it's sluggish. The weapons don't hit like they should. So even that.
Well, if they would have leaned more into that than trying to pad the game with these crazy, puzzles that you have no idea, a reason, then it could have been a better game. So,
I thought it was gonna be a horror-themed first-person shooter with some puzzle elements. That's not what I thought.
So, been playing that. Mm-hmm. Been playing my game for Saturday Morning Retro, which I will announce on the next episode, I guess.
Just keeping it hidden, folks.
Keep it in. But if you're watching the video version, you can see it. It's somewhere behind me.
Eagle eye viewers should be able to pick it out.
And I also played Grounded, which also just came out, which is the retail,
full
game. The full retail
game. Yeah.
Well, it's not even at retail; it's digital only. But it's on Games Pass.
Right.
I played it about an hour and a half, and it's a little boring, in my view. It's a little boring.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's a game that you really need to have a group of people with, right? Because you got to build like a community and survive the. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in the backyard. You got to survive the environment. And it's definitely, a lot of collecting, coming back, crafting, setting up, right? It's not a game to play by yourself. So that's why it's a little boring.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get a group together, maybe we could play it. And
I'll give it a go. I mean, it's free on Games Pass, right?
Free on Games Pass.
Yeah.
Well, as Dave would tell me, it's not free. You pay for it.
Yes, you do. That's right.
Games.
That's right.
So, all right. Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. Dave, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. And let's start with this rumor that Sony is looking to flood retail stores with PS5 stock in the next fiscal year.
Big news.
So Insider Gaming, which previously broke the news, which we actually didn't go over, so we could talk about that too now, that there's a slimmer PS5 model with a detachable disc drive in the works. So, in the works to come out next year. But Insider Gaming also alleges that Sony will ship 30.5 million consoles in the next fiscal year, spanning between April of next year and March 2024.
Sure. And the idea is to simplify the production line, to make it easier to produce consoles en masse for the holiday season, which is always a good thing. That's like the big part of it. And the idea is like they can charge less because it's essentially a PS5 discless with the option to upgrade to a PS5 disc, which I think is super smart.
Yeah, and I did say this. I said this is what the next generation of consoles, which are probably in 5 years, since we're already 2 years into this generation, right? I said we're not quite all digital yet. I think next generation will be a digital system with an option of a disc drive add-on, right? Just like when you first got Macs, they took the disc drive out, but you could still buy a disc drive for like $100.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
They still charge you the same price for the thing, but you're getting less stuff with it.
And they slowly phased out that disc drive as everything became on the cloud and so I think that's what the next generation of consoles will be, and they may start with this generation. So I think this is true. I still haven't seen a PS5 in the wild, even though wait a minute, didn't you tell me? No, I didn't tell you. I mean, I'll get to that. I get to what you're saying. You can buy a brand new PS5, which I haven't seen in a while, right now, as of this recording, on PlayStation Direct. So if you go to PlayStation Direct, log in. They have everything. They have diskless, disc drive, and bundles, and you can pre-order the Call of Duty bundle, which is funny. All the bundles have digital codes though, so no actual. Even if you buy the regular PS5 with the game, it's still going to be a digital code no matter what.
Right.
What you're saying is, I saw that GameStop had a used PS5.
What? You did see it in the wild. It's just not. It wasn't a brand new box.
I haven't seen a brand new game.
Right. Okay. Right.
But I did see a used one, and they still sell out because the guy came in and he came in. He brought a used PS5 at GameStop. He was standing in front of me, and she said, "Yep, we've had two of them, and they didn't even stay in it for a day.
Yeah.
So you got the last one.
Yeah, that's definitely not surprising. I mean, I'm going to assume it's like a $50 difference, right? Because the consoles are still brand new, they're hard to get or whatever. And the fact that you get everything, you just don't get a box. Like, if you're not a collector, what do I wouldn't care. I would definitely take that.
I think you're giving GameStop too much credit. They probably took like $2 off. Because it's hard to get and people want it.
I mean, even if they had it, well, I mean, honestly, even if they had it for like $20 off, people would still buy it because, I mean,
yeah,
they're just like impossible to get, kind of impossible to get. They're getting a little bit better.
Kind of. Yeah. I still bought. Look, I haven't seen a brand new Xbox Series X or PlayStation, PS5 in the wild, but I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of Xbox Series S's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So. You can get that pretty easily now. So that's pretty easy to get. This generation, I think, I did say at some point next year, we're gonna go sort of back to normal-ish, right? It's gonna be in stores. You're gonna see it in stores. And instead of saying, hey, you got to buy this $800 bundle, they're gonna start discounting stuff to bundle with it, so you can, because they're gonna want to get rid of it. They're gonna want you to buy it.
Yep, it's true.
All right, let's, to be honest, as a side note, I think they really want to ramp up production to get PS5 consoles in people's hands because they really, really want to sell PSVR 2, and I think that's coming next year as well. I think you're going to see next year PS5 Slim right next to PSVR 2. All right, so I think next year is going to be a big year for Sony with the PS5 and the PSVR 2. So
usually companies do like a console refresh about 3 years in. I mean, it took them 4 years for the PS4 Pro and the Xbox, but when you got the PS2 Slim, maybe was a little bit more, but. I don't know. The PS3 had 2 revisions, right? That came out about 3, maybe 4 years after it launched.
You see, I think not 3. I think it's like 4 years.
Maybe about 4.
You see that? When sales start to slow up a little bit, you want to throw another model out there, maybe a little bit cheaper model.
Well, and you can make it at a lower cost, right? Take out the features nobody needs, right? Improve the assembly line. Like that's like a no-brainer.
I remember when the PS2 came out. I think before the PS2 came out, they came out with the PS1, which was like
the PSONE. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And you could get the little screen that attached to the back of it that would flip up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that screen. It just doesn't work, so I don't know if I can fix it or I'm gonna have to buy another one. So, well, speaking of VR. Right, PSVR 2 is gearing up, for a full reveal with price, games, and then a launch window at some point. Let's talk about Meta, because Meta, which is Facebook, it's so weird to say Meta. I'm just gonna say Facebook. I don't care because it's so weird to say Meta. I think of Ron Artest every time I say Meta. Meta.
It's all about that world peace, Dan. It's all about that world peace.
Facebook had their 2022 Connect conference where they revealed the MetaQuest Pro headset, and it's coming at an outrageous price. It's coming at $14.99 price tag.
Yep,
and that's not including the cost of accessories that goes with it.
That is 3 PS5s. All right, just want to let you know that is
Well, that's 3 PS5s or 2 PS5 bundles on at GameStop.
Sure, that's like 15 copies of Madden 23. I mean, it's a lot, or 25 copies, I should say. It's like 25 copies.
Well, it looks like Facebook is trying to capture a portion of the market, the commercial market. Right?
Yeah, this is a business oriented headset.
For the virtual and mixed reality, right? Because it's a combination of virtual and mixed reality. It's primarily designed for business users, but according to a recent blog post, Meta, Facebook has also acquired several VR development studios. They acquired the studio that made the Resident Evil 4 VR game, right? They also acquired the studio that made that Iron Man VR game that was exclusive to the PSVR. But it's actually coming out now on MetaQuest. Funny enough. Right. And then they purchased Twisted Pixel. Twisted Pixel was previously owned by Microsoft, and they were known for the Xbox game Gunstringer.
Oh yeah. So I'll say the acquisitions, maybe they're trying to make games, but in all honesty, they're building their metaverse, right? Their VR, their equivalent of PlayStation Home in a way, where you can just go and be in these virtual environments and hang out with people and whatever. They want the MetaQuest Pro to be the way that people have meetings and all this other stupid stuff that just, it's like, oh, hey, you can see an avatar of me while we're having this business meeting about the third quarter sales charts. Like, nobody cares. It's cool, but the practicality of it, all of that just kind of gets in the way, right? You know what, $1,500 for what?
I think you're slightly wrong and maybe looking at it from a different perspective.
Well, I'm just talking about this particular headset because there is a MetaQuest 3 that's coming out that'll be at a cheaper price for consumers.
So no, you're right. They want it to be where, I mean, people work from home now, right? So everybody wants to go to the virtual round table to have their meetings, and you could just put on, your headset. But I think for it to be mainstream like that, it would need to be like Google Glass, right? It has to be wireless first and foremost. It will not take off the way they want it, and it's wired. That's not going to happen. It needs to be wireless. It needs to be wired. It doesn't matter if it's as small as glasses, which it will be eventually, maybe 30 years from now. Yeah. Right? But it would need to be wireless, completely wireless, where it's just sitting on a mannequin head on your table.
And you just kind of pick it up. Yeah.
And just put it on. I got a meeting, so I'm going to be sitting on the couch on my meeting for, like an hour. So, guys, don't bother me.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that Meta is doing the wrong thing. They're certainly like reading the tea leaves and seeing what the future is.
Facebook, please. I keep
whatever.
World peace.
The Zuck, right? Okay, the Zuck is taking his company in the right direction, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of businesses jumping in on this. I don't necessarily know what the productivity advantage would be. It's more of like a neat factor or a way to, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could do like a product demo with it in like a virtual reality space and set it up and really kind of wow people with it. Maybe that's an application. Just kind of like looking at some of the specs for it. It's a little interesting because they're like throwing out things that they're like, well, it's got a 37% greater pixel per inch. But they don't say versus what. I'm assuming it's versus their previous model, right? The MetaQuest 2 or whatever it is. There's a 1.3 times larger color gamut. Then what? Then your standard VR headset? It doesn't say. But it does have 256 gigs of storage on it, which is nice. 12 gigs of RAM, which is crazy. The Snapdragon XR2 Plus processor. 50% more power, doesn't say than what. I'm assuming the previous model of the MetaQuest 2. And it does say here, because the article didn't necessarily say that, but it does say here that you can enjoy all of your games that are compatible with the MetaQuest 2. So it's just a more beefier model, but everything should still work. Your app library on MetaQuest 2 should work with the MetaQuest Pro. So that's good.
Well, I would like to revisit these specs at our 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
We're on our, 6th, 7th anniversary?
7th. Yeah, we just passed our 7th anniversary.
All right, so maybe 12th anniversary where Dave is going to be like, oh, no, 250 gigs? 250 gigs? No. I can't have a headset with 250 gigs. That's just ridiculous, Dan. You know how many VR games and my virtual office alone when I work? You know how many gigs that is in my head?
Yeah, right. Right.
It needs to be, my headset needs to be 2 terabytes. Dan, 2 terabytes.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't. This is definitely not for the average consumer. I mean, to be fair, though, too, graphics cards are about the price of this headset. If you want to get...
Really expensive.
Yeah, if you want to get a new graphics card, if you want to get the new NVIDIA graphics cards, because they just killed off the low-end model, the entry point is $1199. That is only $300 less than the VR headset for a GeForce 480 graphics card, which is now the bottom of the line. I think they just have 2 models, the 480 and the 490, which the 490 is the price of this thing, if not even a little bit more. And those prices have been coming down. So those are actually like pretty good compared to what they were during like the height of the pandemic, because everyone was just like, nobody could get a graphics card, so the prices were through the roof. But
all right, well, talking about really expensive consoles, let's take it back down to earth a little bit, and let's go to actual current gen consoles. And my favorite video game personality or face of a video game franchise or company right now, Phil Spencer.
Oh, he's the best.
Yes. Bethesda currently is celebrating the 25th anniversary of Fallout franchise, and Phil Spencer got onto the festivities by posting an image of his shelf that shows various products, including a couple of Vault Boy figures.
Mm-hmm.
But we know from the past he's had clues to upcoming, things in the works on his shelf, right? And in the past, we've seen the Xbox Series S. We've seen Kojima Productions logo or something. It was something on.
Yeah, the little spaceman with the flag, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen the Nintendo Switch before he announced. I think it was before they announced some collaborations with Nintendo. Right? We've seen Nintendo Switch. Now somebody spotted a small white console, super small white console in the shelf, and we know Phil Spencer said that they're working, or they're prototypes, or rumors that are prototypes of a small streaming box for TVs. All right. So this could be the new console. This could be a new SKU in the Xbox, lineup, right?
Oh, 100%. This is Microsoft's end goal. They want to get out of the hardware game. That's why they're going hard on Games Pass. They're going hard on xCloud. They want people to pay for the service, so you can download you can download or stream the games. Ideally, stream the games. I think at the end of the day, do what Google Stadia wanted to do, and I believe Microsoft is in the position to do that because they have a great Games Pass library. They're collecting up all the studios, so they're now all first-party games, right? The Call of Duties, the Dooms, the Overwatch, Diablo, every like big franchise can come to Games Pass for free, which then also means it can be on xCloud to stream. This is the way, and you could sell this thing for like, I don't know, $100-$150, whatever it is. If it's that tiny, it's not going to have a lot of hardware in it. It's not going to have a beefy graphics.
If it's that tiny, I would say $99.
Sure.
$100.
Sure. It may come with a controller. It may not. You may be able to just use any Bluetooth controller and kind of hook it up to it. But, I mean, all it really needs is an Ethernet jack, a power supply, and an HDMI out to your TV. That's it. There's your box.
I forgot about controller. So, with the controller, $149.99.
Sure.
Here we go.
Sure. And they may even make a model without the controller, right? Because if you already have Xbox, it would be the same interface. So you can have the 2 different SKUs. And I 100% think this is going to happen. Maybe not this year, probably not this year, but next year I don't think
it'd be this year. I think it'd be. We're going to get the PS5 Slim. with the detachable disk drive next year, right? And then we'll get sort of the Xbox streaming device next year to compete with that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're having next year. You know what I can't wait for, though? This year. That's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, of course.
Because I it's my tradition when we have a Call of Duty game with the campaign.
Yep. It's the Thanksgiving tradition, right? With the exception of Black Ops 4?
Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, so ruined my tradition. I can't wait for that game to come out. There was some uproar over that because they said that it may require a phone number to play, but then they, later on when as of this recording, I know there was an update to the story that it was only going to be for PC players and not console players.
Well, I'll tell you.
This is something what Overwatch does, right? Like Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 definitely has this. So if you, thankfully, though actually it doesn't even matter to me because I have a phone that's not a prepaid phone. We'll get into that. I already had an account. The account's already set up. My phone number's probably on the account already, so it wouldn't matter. But any existing accounts already are fine. But if you want to make a new account to play Overwatch, it needs to be a Battle.net account. Right, that's Activision Blizzard's login stuff, right? Or at least on the Blizzard side, it's Battle.net or whatever for their games. So you have to have a phone, and it has to not be a prepaid phone. It can't be like a burner phone or whatever else. It has to be a phone with a monthly plan, and even that, it needs to be a certain phone. Like you can't apparently get like a Cricket wireless phone, even though that has a monthly plan with it, because it needs to have the ability to accept SMS text messages, but not even like just SMS text messages. They have to be able to push like a security code to your phone or whatever. They need to make sure that you're a human and that you're not a bot and you're not trying to game the system or whatever. The whole thing
and also if you because nobody changes their phone, right? Like their phone number,
right?
Every day or anything like that, or often or at all. I've had the same phone number for 15 years.
Yeah,
since the first iPhone. I've had my same number since the first iPhone. Because I had T-Mobile. No, I had Verizon and T-Mobile. I forgot at that time, and then iPhones came out. It was only for AT&T, so I signed up for AT&T.
That's right.
Get the iPhone. So I've had that since the first iPhone. But if you do any shenanigans online, they know who you are.
I know.
All right.
I know.
And if you're suspended, you're suspended, right?
Right.
Unless you have to use another phone number.
Right. And I get that, but they're alienating low-income people, right? Low-income families, whatever else. They're alienating people who can't necessarily have a full-fledged phone with a big monthly payment and whatnot. Not to mention, a lot of those like prepaid phones and whatever else are like just as capable as the big boys. They may not just have like a $10,000 camera in their thing or whatever, which most people don't need anyway, right?
Don't think mine has a $10,000 camera in it either.
You know what I mean. The amount of R&D and everything that goes into it and whatever else, you get a really damn good camera. You get like 3 cameras in there, 4 in some cases, depending on the phone, which is like bananas.
I think the fact that they can, a little bit devil's advocate here, they can they know who you are, they have your phone number. You're less inclined to go online and start cursing and talking about people's mother and the kids do the stupid stuff and say stupid stuff.
That's definitely not going to stop any kids because they don't even know. It's their parents who are setting the account up. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but it's because it's already doing more harm than it is good in this case.
What's the harm? Who's dying for this? Who's dying?
Well,
that's harm. They can't play the game. It's okay.
It's the harm in the fact that like half of the world isn't able to play Call of Duty. There's no need to be restrictive in that case. That's the harm. That's the harm.
Or Overwatch.
Right, or Overwatch, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, at least on the PC, we don't know about the console. I don't know about Overwatch 2 on the consoles, if that's a requirement. But
I will say this, and this is anecdotal. I know what Dave has always says anecdotal evidence. But I've seen some people online in the comments, say profanity and the idiots online.
Oh, they always do. Yeah.
Has come down. It's not as egregious as it once was. It's come down. And this could be one of the reasons.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, the game's... I mean, Overwatch has only been out, like, for a couple of days, so... Overwatch is still pretty new.
Overwatch 2, yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is pretty new.
Again, anecdotal evidence. I totally admit that, too.
Well, they already have tools to get around that. You can just mute people.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
and if you really wanted to help out the community in that way, you would build tools for the user to be able to tailor their experience, like making it easy to ban people so you don't play with them anymore, or do what was it Street Fighter 4 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, maybe? There was some game where they built some tools to see if people were cheating, and it was like pretty good at it. And if they found out that you were cheating, you would go into a special pool of players so that you would be matched up with other cheaters. Oh. So they would just put you in a pen and go, here, have at it. We don't care anymore.
No. So if you've been flagged as an idiot who says dumb things,
right?
And
they could just put you in. They could put you in a special server, right? If you're going to act a fool, right? Yeah. And that's okay because you're kind of getting rid of the problematic people. You're also not denying them the ability to play. They can play. They just have to play with the cesspool, right? Put them in the terrible pool.
Well, but let me ask you a question. How do you get out of that pool? Like, okay, I learned my lesson. I said something I shouldn't have said. Or how do you even prove that I?
Well, I think the way that would work is that you would play normally over time, and if it's a voice monitoring thing, you would see if there's any complaints against you, right? You would have to like look into the complaint, whatever. It's like. Speaking about Cobra Kai, right? In the most recent episode where, spoilers, when Kreese was in jail, right? There was a whole thing of like he kept going to the parole officer or whatever. Like he would go for the checkups and
no, it was like a psychiatrist
or maybe like a psychiatrist or whatever, and like he kept playing with her, like pretending like, oh, I've learned my lesson, I'm fine, I'm whatever, right? And she was kind of an arbiter of like, oh, like maybe you can get out on good behavior or whatever, right? Because like that's like a thing. So if they're going through the trouble to put all this technology to figure out who's cheating, then they can monitor for good behavior, right? So if they're playing normally, and then, like, over time, they can get themselves out of that and into regular play, right?
Well, okay, well,
so again, it's like a temporary jail type situation.
Again, devil's advocate. We both know prison and reform, kind of an oxymoron because they put you in a place with other bad people. You're not going to come out as a good person, or you rarely come out. The statistics show you rarely come out as a good person. So
agreed.
If I put you in a cesspool full of people who are idiots just like you're just going to act a fool. You're going to continuously act a fool, and you're not going to be reformed.
Well, that's okay, because, I mean, wait. It's not necessarily... It's not necessarily the... Oh, no, go ahead.
I'll let you... I was just saying...
Go ahead.
What if you go on, you're having a bad day, and you've been good. It's like what, and then you're having a bad day. You go on, and everyone you're in a cesspool, and then you say a curse. Now now everything that you've done that was good gets erased, and now you got to start all over again with whatever time limit or whatever barometer, right? Like I think that's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean,
crazy. I don't know. I think there's a better way to do it.
I 100% agree with you. The way to do that is to encourage cooperative play, to encourage people to play in a way that's not toxic, right? And now,
if you're toxic, kick you off. We have your phone number, and you can't get back on for like 2 months, 3 months.
Well, that's the same thing as going into jail, except you don't restrict anybody from being able to play.
Well,
see, that's the difference. Because you're
play, you be nice.
Exactly. It's not. So now you have to spend a lot of money to have the appropriate phone, right? And not to mention, if you have a number that was associated, which this blows my mind. If you have a number that was associated with a like burner phone or prepaid phone or whatever, I don't think those are applicable, which is weird. I don't really know what. I don't really know. Like they're going way too hard in the paint on it.
All right. I can understand why you have the whole phone number thing. I think there could be a better way.
There's 100% a better way. Yeah.
Unless you present a better way, which I don't think your way is a better way. Unless you can present a better way.
Well, wait a minute. So let's just column this out real quick, right? So if they go through with this on consoles, right? We know that Overwatch is doing it with PC.
Well, it's not going to be on consoles. It's not going to be the update is that it's not on consoles. It's a PC only thing.
That is really interesting. So there has to be something that's preventing them from doing that, and it wouldn't be Microsoft because they're by all means, they're going to be owning Activision, so it wouldn't be them saying, hey, you can't do this on the platform. There has to be some other weird restriction that, like, PCs, maybe a hardware thing or whatever. I don't necessarily know. That's actually something I got to look into.
Maybe most of the toxic people are playing on PC.
Oh, no. No. No, trust me. I play a lot of multiplayer. The console is just as bad, if not worse, than the PC. Okay, well let's just say it is. Let's just say it is just PC, right? They can't do it on console or whatever. It's only like PC, right? So if I wanted to go on and play Overwatch 2 now, right? Now, granted, it's free to play, so anybody can sign up and play. So there is no barrier there, which is good. I like that. And the loot boxes and the whatever else, like they've made it a little bit better than the first one. So I'm also like pro on that. The gameplay is kind of trash or whatever. It's a whole other thing.
We're talking about Call of Duty, not Overwatch.
Well, I mean, like they're like one and the same, right? It's the same restrictive measure that's in Overwatch isn't going to be in Call of Duty. But let's just say I'm playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out. It's the holidays. I pick up Call of Duty, which is $60. It is not a free-to-play game. It's $60, and I want to go on and play the multiplayer. Got to make an account. It's okay. I pick my phone up, and I try and put my phone number in. They say, you can't. All right?
Okay.
So the one issue I have is the messaging surrounding it. Are they actually getting the word out and letting people know that if you want to play multiplayer, you need to be able to have a certain type of phone that can accept SMS text messages that was never associated with a prepaid or burner phone that isn't currently a prepaid or burner phone, right? Are they getting the message out there? Are they telling people at GameStop? Is there going to be Amazon stuff that says if you want to play multiplayer, is there this? And we don't know, and I'm pretty sure they're going to fail on that messaging. Maybe they'll get it right? That's like the first thing. And even if they do all that and I still bring the game home and I try and play it or whatever, maybe I had a phone with a number that used to be attached to a Cricket wireless phone. Now I'm not able to play multiplayer unless I get a new phone number with a regular account. So I'm out. I'm out at that point.
I don't.
That's on the one side.
Okay. All right. What's the other side?
Now on the other side, right? I pick up the game, $60, take it home, pop it, or $70 or whatever or whatever it's going to be. I install it, or I download it, hook it up, play it, multiplayer, boom. Still probably got to make an account or whatever because I think you need one to like log in or whatever. But there's no phone number restriction, so I can play. Now, if I act a fool, right, which is me, either willfully or like ignorantly, if I'm like a little kid and I just don't know and I'm like acting a fool. Then put me in a special server. I can still play the game. I can still shoot people or whatever. I'm just with other like-minded people. All right. And I will go ahead and say in this hypothetical, there's a way to get out, and that's just play normally, right? Don't cheat, which they can obviously figure out if you are cheating because you already got into that box. If it's a verbal thing, put some measure in there, and maybe it's only a week ban. Maybe it's a day ban at first, and then it adds up over time. So if you continually do more bad stuff, then the ban period gets longer, like they do with like YouTube bans or Twitch bans or whatever. And then it'll go back the other way. So the better you play, or the more nice you play online, then your ban time goes down. So if you get really good again and then you make a mistake again, then it goes back to a day, and you're in the box for a day. So everyone still gets to play, but if you act a fool, it gets you in there. And that's how you fix it.
There's a flaw in what you just said.
Go ahead.
You are not going to the store because this is only for PC, and you can't buy PC games.
Whatever. That's not even the issue. That's not even the issue. It doesn't matter how you get the game.
So before you pay for the game online, because that's the only place you can get it, PC, it tells you, do you have a phone?
They have physical versions. They have physical versions you can buy from Amazon, which is shipped to your house. Where?
I
just said Amazon. You can go to Amazon and pick up a physical game.
I haven't seen a physical PC game in 30 years. I don't even know what it is.
You don't have a physical PC game on your shelf. You have 12 out of your 5,000 games. You don't play PC games.
I don't.
Nonetheless, that doesn't even matter. Right? And if you're trying to tell me, hey, there'll be a message when you go to buy the game.
There will be a message that says,
we don't actually know that. And that's actually dependent. I know. That's dependent on Activision Blizzard or Microsoft demanding that, or saying this is the verbiage. This has to be there. Make sure it's prominent or whatever. Not everybody buys from Amazon. People buy from Best Buy or whatever. They buy on Steam. Thousands of ways to get your game digitally.
I like the way of, okay, you have to have a number. Not everybody has a number, so this is probably not the game for you because
Well, that's unfair. That's unfair. That's unfair.
You know what? My father told me when I was 5 years old that life isn't fair.
So versus.
Wait. No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
And then you act a fool. They have your number. They cut you off because in your
but they're gonna have ways around that though.
In your scenario, they can just change their username and go back on, and then act a fool. Keep changing the username. They can keep changing the username and go. There'll be ways around the phone number thing that people will do. I guarantee it. This isn't gonna stop them, and the people that want to play the game won't be able to play the game. To me, this is the equivalent of DRM, right? This is the equivalent of you locking down MP3s that I bought for $1 in the Apple Store, and you can only play it on the device that you downloaded it from, right? You're the one who's buying the music, and you're restricting me from being able to play my music. It's the same thing. I want to play the game. It's digital, yeah. It's digital.
But you're not. The point that I'm making with like the DRM thing is you're not preventing the people who are gonna want to steal, cheat, and get the music illegally in the same way that people that want to cheat online in like Call of Duty will find ways to do that because they always.
I'm not saying the phone number thing. Maybe you open it up to burner phones. I don't know, but I'm not saying.
Well, no, but
I'm not saying the phone number thing is perfect because everybody has a cell phone. But
the reason
your way doesn't work.
The reason you can't do the burner phone thing is the whole reason that somebody will just make a new account. Yeah, that's why you can't do the burner phone thing. So that doesn't work.
Change your number. Well, you got to jump through more hoops to change your phone than it is to change your screen name. So
yeah, but people will do that.
It's a little bit more effort. It costs you more effort.
It costs you $20 to go into a 7-Eleven to get the cheapest phone, whatever. Well, it just needs to be a phone number.
It costs you nothing to change your account, so it gives you effort. You have to jump through another hoop.
Well, here's the thing, though. If the software is good enough, as soon as you start acting a fool, after the first game, and they end up flagging you, you're in that jail again. So you can keep making new accounts. You'll get through one, maybe two games, and then you're back in the pen again.
I know, but you say the software is good. It has to be complaints because if we're in a team, I can curse and call you an idiot, right?
No. It's not just about the verbal component because that's a whole other thing. Like how do you determine what the line is? Like I'm talking about like blatant gameplay cheats. right? Using like aimbots or aim assist, finding ways around or whatever.
That's irrelevant. We're not talking about that. We're talking specifically about having a phone number.
Well, that's definitely part of this, though.
And people acting a fool.
Wait. But that's definitely part of this. The larger component is people cheating in the game as opposed to just saying bad words, because saying bad words and tying it to your phone number isn't gonna stop anybody.
I don't, because they shut you down. They shut you off.
All right. Well, I mean,
we don't agree. We don't agree. But we both agree that you shouldn't be toxic online. You shouldn't cheat in multiplayer games. Cheat in a single player game.
I mean, of course, right? Because you're not really hurting anybody in that case. Well, that's true.
All right. Well, let's shift focus to another game.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think there's no multiplayer for this. But
no, not at all. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, maybe they'll be in the new game. Who knows? Maybe they'll have multiplayer.
Yeah. But there could be a new Crash Bandicoot game coming, and it may be revealed at the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
So, to celebrate Crash Bandicoot 4 being released on Steam October 18th, certain influencers were sent packages shaped like stacks of pizza boxes, confirmed on its receipt that Crash Bandicoot 4 was coming out on Steam. But it also said, are you hungry for more? Try out a new Whopping Pizza.
Wampa Pizza,
$12.08, which could be a clever way to say a new game coming out December 8th, which is 12/08.
Which would be amazingly fast of a turnaround time, which means they've been working on it for a while. I certainly don't doubt, because like they made this package out to streamers and all that. They went through the trouble of having like Aku Aku Pizza, right? It was really cool. And then to have that little slip like hungry for more, I 100% think there's a new Crash Bandicoot coming out, and it's probably coming out 12/08. Now, it may be 12/08/2023, most likely. I think it's going to be next year and not this year.
No. Oh, well, okay. A couple of things. You're totally wrong on that, because 12/08 is the day of the Game Awards this year. We don't know.
Oh, that'll be the announcement.
Game Awards.
That'll be the announcement.
Announcement of the game. Yep. Now, will it come out next year? Probably not. It could be a 2024 game, right? The last
maybe,
game, Crash Bandicoot 4 came out in 2020, so it's been 2 years. So if production of development is coming along, fine, good, they could we could have a teaser at least, not even maybe a trailer. It could just be a teaser that, hey, Crash 5 is coming, right?
Sure.
I think the more interesting part is, if it's not coming out next year, if it's still in development, when it does come out, at that point, Microsoft theoretically would own Activision Blizzard, which owns the IP of Crash Bandicoot.
That's right.
Will this game be Xbox exclusive? Which I don't think so, but it could say it's coming out on the Xbox for a year before it comes out anywhere else.
It's possible. It'd be funny. It'd be really funny if they're like, it's coming everywhere except for PlayStation.
That would be funny too.
Because that's, we all know Naughty Dog was, Crash was essentially the mascot of the PlayStation, at least in America, right. which was, I loved it. I mean, he was amazing. But
Crash and Spyro were the two exclusives for the original PlayStation.
That's right. That's right.
Launched that platform that are now owned by Activision, which will be owned by Microsoft. They'll
eventually,
own Spyro and Crash.
Yep. So I think this is 100% a multi-platform thing. I don't think this is the game that you say, buy our console for the new Crash. And I'm not saying that Crash is a bad game by any means and whatnot, but I don't necessarily think it would be a console seller. And, we always kind of talk about what are the pros and cons of making a game exclusive, right? And the big con is all the people that don't own an Xbox can't buy your game. So if it's a 60-hour game and there's millions of people that just have PlayStations or Nintendo consoles, right? They're not going to immediately say, I'm going to buy an Xbox just to play this one game, right? Not to say it's not going to be good, but so you can only do that with certain games, right? Like, we're talking about Call of Duty. Is that eventually going to be console exclusive and whatnot, because that game is huge, and that would be a system seller for sure. And we don't know if they're going to do that. I'm certainly of two minds still. They could, but for this one, I think it's going to be multi-platform, and I think it's going to be multi-platform day one. Maybe they'll do the 6 months to a year exclusivity and then open it up, which is kind of a nice middle ground.
I remember when Crash came out, it was a Sony exclusive.
That's right.
And then it came out to Xbox and Switch later on.
Which is interesting because Activision was still a third party at that point.
I'm sure Sony paid for it, because,
oh, yeah.
associate Crash with Sony platforms.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm sure when it gets announced, they'll ask you for your phone number to log in.
I mean, it's all under the same fucking umbrella.
All right, let's talk about let's talk about another game that was a Sony exclusive. That's probably the sequel's probably going to be an Xbox exclusive, and that's Deathloop. Right, Deathloop. It came out last year for the PS5. It is now on Games Pass because it's been a year. And Arkane Studios, who is now owned by Microsoft, has officially confirmed that Deathloop part of the Dishonored universe. It's many, many years in the future.
Yeah. For sure.
And they've left little subtle hints, nothing totally obvious. I don't want to get into, the little Easter eggs, the little symbols on the gun and all that stuff that no one put together. But just like Control is a part of the Alan Wake universe, Deathloop is part of the Dishonored universe, which means we could see some type of collaboration. I mean, we could see some type of maybe the next game, or maybe there could be a whole game where you go between the future and the past. I don't know. I
100% agree, because you don't come out and spoil the surprise unless you're going to do something with it, right? Because there's tons of games that have little Easter eggs and the whatever, and they just kind of leave them there for you to pick up on, right? And now
Uncharted with the Last of Us, right?
That exactly. They were kind of teasing their next game, and I know like a lot of companies do that. A lot of movies do that, little Easter eggs, and you'll have all these YouTubers dissecting everything and figuring out what's going on, and that's perfectly fine and all that. And I'm sure if the studio head or whatever didn't come out and say this, people would have found out about it eventually, and it would have been a cool little thing, like, oh yeah, it's part of the thing. But for them to announce it as like a yes, we're confirming that Dishonored is part of the Deathloop universe and vice versa, 100% think there's going to be some sort of crossover or something.
How about this Dishonored loop, right? Where you're in.
I mean,
you're the main protagonist in Dishonored, and then you got to go through this loop.
Yeah.
To kill the bad guy. Come on, Dishonored loop.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm actually curious. It's super cool to see. I'm awesome that it's awesome that they put it together. I want to see what they do with it.
Well, and now that they're owned by Microsoft, when Dishonored loop comes out, you'll need to have your phone number associated with your
and it'll be only on Xbox. So you got to buy an Xbox. You got to buy a phone that isn't a burner phone. And yeah. So you're in for like $1,000, right? At this point,
there you go.
Just to play Dishonored loop.
And if you're a naughty person, okay, they'll just put you with other naughty. They'll put you with other naughty people, and then they cut you off.
Well, wait, it's a single player game. Why would I be put in the naughty box?
I don't know. They're gonna be listening to you curse at the NPCs.
Oh boy.
All right, let's end this with something that I found hilarious on both fronts, and that is Microsoft putting out a new Xbox Series X mini fridge. We talked about this 2 years ago.
Here's your mid generation refresh. It's about time, Dan.
There you go. This is my my mini fridge Pro.
Yep.
Or my mini fridge X. Right. Mm-hmm. So they leaned into the Xbox Series X looks like a refrigerator 2 years ago, and then they actually put out a mini fridge Xbox Series X. And now they've refreshed it. They've modernized it. It looks a little bit more like a refrigerator, even though it still looks like the Series X, a box, right, with the little green trim on the side, with a handle where you can pull up to open the fridge. I think it's also hilarious that it's out of stock already.
Yeah, of course. There you go. It's just like the regular console.
Yeah, there you go. Can't find it.
That's funny. I'm still impressed that they leaned into the meme and made a fridge, and then they said, no, we can make it better. We're gonna add a USB port on it. Right? We're gonna make it a little bit easier to store your stuff inside. I love it. I love it.
And I don't know if you know this, but you have to put your phone number in if you want to open it. Like,
oh my god!
But unless you have a valid number.
Oh my god!
If you don't, then everything is just stuck in the fridge.
Okay, that is the all digital future I don't want to live in. That's like some 1984 dystopian shit. All
right, Dave. That's it for the stories. And you know what it's time for? It's time to guess Dave's Halloween costume.
Oh, yes, it is, Dan.
All right.
Yes, it is.
You know what? No guess. Give me a hint. Give me the hint, and then I will give you my guess. I won't ask a question this week. Give me.
All right. I was trying to make it easier on you to give you the open-ended question. Well, you can ask whatever question you want. Now I got to give you a hint. Okay.
Give me the hint. And stop giving these obscure hints. You're like, it's blue.
It's not obscure. I'm narrowing it down for you. Okay. All right. You remember what the other hints were, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. To refresh the audience's memory on this, and I have to refresh my own memory on this, actually. So, I did say that
it's not a Splatoon character.
No, it's not a Splatoon character. I did say it's video game related. I did say that. I think I also.
You said it was an anime. Or
it's featured in another medium, which is featured in a cartoon. And I believe the last time that you guessed, what did you guess the last time?
Dragon Ball Z.
You guessed Dragon. Did you guess Dragon Ball Z? No. You guessed Cloud.
Oh yeah, the Cloud.
You guessed Cloud the last time, which I was like, all right, well,
close. You said close. You said close. You said a good guess. Good guess.
Well, it was a good guess in the fact that Cloud is always in the running for a Halloween costume because Cloud is badass. Got a big Buster Sword and all that. Would be a good costume to do. And he is featured in some 3D movies, some 3D animated movies. So cartoons in a way, yeah. Animated media, yeah. Animated media.
Okay. So let's wait. Let's clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
Some, not saying me, but some people may have to distinguish between cartoon and anime. Okay.
Oh, well, you could say that too. Well, I mean, anime in the case that like Japanese animation versus more Western American animation, but yeah. I mean, I was saying animated in kind of every sense of the word, or cartoon in every sense of the word.
More of a cartoon than an anime.
Yeah. So if you want to call on Dragon Ball Z, you can call on Dragon Ball Z. But I will.
That makes it a little bit more tough. That makes it a little bit more tough.
Well, I will give you. Here is the new clue.
Okay.
This character uses a video game accessory.
Ooh. Okay.
Now that is a very telling clue. You get one guess.
Video game accessory.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I wasn't expecting that one. Ooh.
There you go. See, is that not a good hint?
That's a good hint for something for me to mull over. I can't.
Well, I mean, come on, you're on the spot, Dan. What do you got? Throw me a guess.
Wait. No, you couldn't be. What was the cartoon?
Go ahead.
What was the NES cartoon back in the day with Mother Brain?
I don't know.
Mother Brain. You're the main character. You're the main character
of
that cartoon. Of that cartoon.
Which cartoon?
Oh man. I was just watching it the other day.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you still got to give me the answer, and I will let you know if you're right.
Oh,
you can look it up. You can look it up.
I gotta look it up. I forgot the name.
Okay.
The Game Master. It was like Captain N and the Game Master.
You are correct. I am Captain N the Game Master. That's right.
What?
That's right.
Oh!
You got it. All right.
Wow.
That guess was way too obvious. That guess was it was a little too much. Yeah, that was it.
Well,
that was it. He technically uses both because he has a.
You gotta put on a varsity suit. You gotta put on a varsity.
Oh yeah, no, I got the jacket with the N. Right, I got it all made. I bought the patch, ironed it on. I've got the NES controller belt. So he technically has two accessories, right? He has the controller, and he also has the zapper gun, which I think I have like two zapper guns, so I'm good. I got the gray one and the orange one, so I'm good. And then he wears jeans. He wears some black shoes with like white trim, and he's got a yellow turtleneck, and that's his outfit. It's bare bones simple. I had most of the stuff here already, so.
So I will say this.
I am Captain N.
Okay, I will say this. One, never in a million years thought I would have got it. That guess was me just throwing something out there because I thought maybe I would have to actually think about this for next week. I didn't think that was going to be it.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was a legit guess because I was like, he uses video game accessories. I gotta think about this.
Yeah, right.
Wait,
was never in a video game, but is video game related, right?
In a video game.
Was in a different medium, cartoon, right? Uses accessories. As Captain and the Game Master.
The only reason why that came to my head, or came into my mind, is because I actually was watching an episode the other day.
Oh, that's so funny. That is a wild show. Whoever decided on the voices.
Where did Mother Brain come from? I mean, these are supposed to be Nintendo characters.
There's Simon Belmont is a Konami. Mega Man's a Capcom. They're all over the place.
I know. Listen, I think of Nintendo. I think of Mother Brain, of course. Yeah. I think of NES. You think of Mother Brain.
Well, I mean, the voice of Mother Brain. My God.
What, are you going to shave your beard? Are you going to shave your beard?
I'm going to have to. It's going to be a new me, Dan. It's going to be a new me.
Wow.
You do what you do for the Halloween costume, right? You put in the work, put in the effort. None of this half-ass shit. Got to go all the way.
80s hairstyle to go back. Wow.
Yeah. He has a bit more hair, but it's basically like a comb over with a part on the left-hand side.
Comb over, yeah.
I'll wear my Letterman jacket. It'll be great. Have a yellow turtleneck. It's going to be a good time, Dan. It's going to be a good time.
Okay. Wow, I legit guessed. It was a guess. That was a legit guess.
And you know what? I've never seen anyone dress up like Captain and the Game Master. So I'm not saying I'm not going to do it at PAX, but I may bring the costume to PAX.
I actually did see somebody dress up.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yes. This was a long time ago. It wasn't recently.
It's very, very. It's a deep cut. But
okay.
Oh shoot. So yeah. Wow, good guess. Well done, Dan. You have won the competition. And you get to host next week's episode. That is your prize.
Nah, I'd rather Shake Shack, thanks.
Okay. Well, anyway, that is episode 333 in the books. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.